Hi, Jude. How are you?
Hello.
I don't know if you remember me, Silvia Bizio from
Of
Italy.
course, it's good to see you.
Good to see you. So I saw this film in Venice, and why, what an eye-opener it was, and what a strong and powerful movie. Who would have thought last September that now, even more than ever, we have to be concerned about what is going on in this
Indeed.
country. So obviously this is a necessary question, but how much what happens in that film? Was it then when you made it, and now more than ever a concern in your mind? Did it have that kind of significance?
It was apparent when we read it as a company that this was an extraordinary true story that had this startling relevance to today. But sadly, we could have made this 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and it would have still been relevant in my mind. These kind of movements didn't start with Bob Matthews and the Silent Brotherhood. And unfortunately, they didn't finish. Obviously, different events in the last few years have made it all the more important a subject to look at and understand the behavior of these kind of people and what encourages them, what communities give them support and a place to vocalize and nurture hatred. But honestly, our concern only as filmmakers was to be accurate of this story. We felt like if we could bring an authentication to it, an authenticity rather, if we could make it understandable and human, that maybe what we were trying to do was, like I said, look at these people as humans and understand their behavior in en masse. And the relevance speaks for itself.
How involved were you in developing your own character?
Well, it was a very fortunate situation. The script was very strong when I first read it, but Zach Balin, the writer, and Justin Cazell, the director, are very collaborative forces. They enjoy the idea of working as a team and they see the benefit in that. And we all recognize that in Husk, who is an amalgamation of special agents who are on the case, we were able to embellish his personality and his backstory to better steer the story or the perspective of the story for audiences. And so I was quite heavily involved with the two of them at really understanding and layering this guy's marriage, his career, where he was from, what had done this sort of damage to him spiritually and physically. And all of that work over the months of development really helped because it was a sort of slow burn approach to the character rather than just reading off the page and trying to find something from that. It gave him much more three dimension to me. And that's a rare experience.
How important you think it is for films and television, for art, to raise subjects to the consciousness of people?
I think it's absolutely integral to the role of storytelling. And if you look at storytelling and its origin in the community, whether it's sitting around a campfire sharing stories or reminiscing of experiences, it's a fundamental pillar of our communities and our society. I think how those messages are delivered is very important. I think in the hands of a storyteller like Justin Cazell, where he's not spoon feeding, he is not hitting you hard on the head with a story. He looks at it very much within the structure of the genre and he creates conversations rather than issuing statements. I think that's a better way to approach it. But as an art form, I think it's key that we see the responsibility in choosing subject matter that is poignant and important to us.
And as an Italian, my last question, I can't help but asking you, given your relationship with Paolo Sorrentino, how is that developing? Are you planning more things in the future?
Well, I certainly hope so. He's a very dear friend and such a great talent. I have so much admiration and love for him and his work. We stay in contact. We are always communicating about what we're both reading and what we're doing. And my hope is, yes, very much that one day I'll work with him again in Italy.
There you go.
I will happily work with him anywhere, but I hope he brings me back to Italy because I would love to return there to work.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Jude.
My pleasure.